Welcome back to DAGryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave. Let's get a closer look at my new Williams GG1. I don't think I can buy an engine without opening it up and see what's inside. And I also was not convinced that it was functioning properly. It just didn't seem to be pulling as well as it should. It's a pretty basic engine inside, a good solid built standard Williams engine. And there's plenty of room inside if I decide to do any sort of upgrade later on. When I took it apart, I did find an issue with it, and it runs much better now. So let's take a look and see what I found. I took the shell off because I wanted to see not only what it looked like inside, but I also wanted to try to troubleshoot a squeak noise that it was making. I figured that the noise was just a wheel or the center rail pickup. I put a little oil on each of the center rail pickups and ran it, no change. I then cleaned them with contact cleaner because I'd rather not leave oil in there because it can cause buildup and poor conductivity. Then I took one of the 4-axle trucks off, and it made no difference. But what I thought was really cool was the wheels are independent on the axle. I think that will contribute to really nice, smooth running because they won't be fighting each other. I inspected the rest of the trucks. Everything seemed okay. I wasn't hearing anything. I put it back on the track, ran it back and forth a couple times, and it still made the noise. At that point, I was wondering if one of the contacts was rubbing on the underside of the flywheels. That just wasn't getting me anywhere. I couldn't really, it really didn't seem like that's what the noise was. So I removed the power trucks from the engine and inspected them separately. And what I found was the one axle wouldn't turn. And what had happened was, I guess it seized. It was continuing to be used, and it broke the gear free of the inside of the wheel. So while the wheel wasn't moving, the gear was spinning. I took the side frames off. I put some oil down by the axle. You really couldn't get to it any other way than through the bottom. And then I just tried to work them free, and it really wasn't working, so I put some WD-40 on there and let it sit for a little bit, and then moved the axle side to side as much as I could until it started to free up a little bit. And then I just kept forcing it to turn until it turned freely. And then I sprayed it with the contact cleaner again to remove residue, put a couple more drops of the Labelle 102 down on the axle, and it was spinning freely. So at that point, I put a screwdriver between the wheel and the gear just enough that I could squeeze a couple drops of crazy glue down in between the gear and the wheel, and then let that sit for a couple seconds, made sure that it didn't glue itself to any of the other gears and that it was still free moving, and then cleaned everything up and put it all back together. So not only was it causing noise, but it must have been causing significant drag because the axle just wasn't turning. After I initially put it back together, I put it on the track and it seemed to run really, really smooth and slow. So I'm excited to get it back together and see how well it pulls. Because I'm assuming it will pull better than it was before. If I consider doing an ERR upgrade on this or other upgrade, there's plenty of room to work with. I could put multiple speakers, multiple boards. There's no problem with that. I will be updating the lights, but not at the moment. Right now, I just want to see it run. So I'm going to put the shell back on, this time with the front facing front. I marked the base here with an F and a circle around it. Not that you can really see it, but it's enough when the shell's off that you can tell which way is front, because otherwise I'd have to remember that the speaker was in the back. So I'm going to put the shell back on, and then we're going to test it and see how much better this thing performs. I noticed while putting the shell back on that there's an F on the right side of each end of this shell. It usually helps when the F is on the end. That will go forward first, but whatever. It really doesn't matter. The only difference really is that little bump right there where that's supposed to be an exhaust port or whatever it is. That is at the back. So that's what I'll have to remember. The only reason why it even matters to me is because when I put it on the track, I want it to go the way I think it's going to go. Now that I've corrected that stuck axle, you can see this thing is pulling so much better and a lot more in line with my expectations. What I was surprised by was that the traditional GG1 pulled almost as well. It wasn't quite as smooth and it seemed to be struggling a little bit more, but it still pulled all those K-line heavyweight passenger cars. The Menards engine was thrown in there just because I do like to torture it from time to time. And while it did pull all those cars, it definitely was struggling, I'd say even a bit more than the traditional GG1. Now that I have corrected that issue with this scale size Williams GG1, I am so much happier with it. It's running smoother, quieter, stronger, and as you can see, pulling a whole lot of cars. More than I would really pull on this layout anytime other than when I'm testing something like this. I'm not going to rush to do any sort of upgrade. I'll run it conventionally for now. I can run it conventionally with the remote anyway. I'm pretty happy with it as is. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on DAGryffyn Hobby.